What's going on, everybody? I'm John at Peanut Sports, and today we're going to talk about Kentucky wide receiver Wan'dale Robinson. We're going to talk about his strengths, weaknesses, scheme fit, all of it. Now, he's not the best wide receiver in this year's draft, but he is my favorite. And it's about time we build some hype for this kid, because you look around for someone just even talking about this kid, and it's just crickets. Well, enough of that. The hype train starts now. Let's just take a quick peek at his stats from this past season for a second. And I don't do this very often on my channel for these prospect videos, but I need for you to understand how great he was this past season. He had 104 receptions, 1,334 yards, both Kentucky school records. He also had 111 rushing yards on 7 carries. That is 15.9 yards per carry. That is a freaking year, man. Now, on top of all that, he was named a Citrus Bowl MVP with 10 catches, 170 yards. Listen, he just produces. This is a versatile wide receiver / running back, whatever you want to label him, whatever you want him to do, he can do it. Now, a lot of people are saying he's a mid to late round pick, and he's exclusively a slot wide receiver, well, blah, 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 blah. You can line this kid up anywhere. He'll give you that production you're looking for. Not only that, he can take a play to the house anytime he touches the ball. If this kid gets drafted into one of those spread offenses like Buffalo or San Francisco, oh my God, look out. He's a smaller wide receiver, so people will try and label him one thing or another. I'm not going to do that with him. He's 178 pounds, but he is only 5'8", so he is stocky, thick player, even though he's super light. And with the moments of insane balance he shows on tape, he looks like a damn ping pong ball just bouncing off tackles. And think about it this way. When you're short and you got short legs like that, it is so much harder to run faster. But Wan'dale Robinson is fast. He ran a 4.440 at the combine. Vertical jumped 34.5 inches. So the physical traits are there. He can blow the top off of a defense. On top of that, he can do all that gadget stuff, sweeps, screens, just get the ball to him fast and try and set up one-on-ones on the outside with cornerbacks or safeties. Just get open field in front of him. And he's going to make the first tackler miss 95% of the time. Listen, could he be really good in the slot? Yeah. But I can't just label him a full-time slot wide receiver. I mean, he brings value on the outside as well. Like, if you don't watch him closely or roll coverage over his way, he is gonna gash you eventually. He did it to everybody this past season. So don't view him through that slot wide receiver lens. So many of these wide receivers coming out of college get this label put on them. It's so unfair. And if you put him on a team with a great quarterback where you can start running them option routes, like, listen, I'm a Giants fan, so look at Eli Manning, Victor Cruz, back in the early 2010s. You couldn't stop it. You couldn't stop them guys together. Coverage sits on the outside, Cruz would jump to the inside. If they sit inside, he goes outside, vice versa. The only way to limit that stuff is a completely bracket coverage. And then you're opening up for other receivers and tight ends on the offense. So, teams think twice to send all-out blitzes on you also when you have a weapon out there like that. It's a trickle-down effect that can open up for everybody on the team. So it's just not about that one player if he hits like he's capable. And these are the reasons you take a player like Robinson earlier in the draft. Everyone has him like the 75th player on their big boards. I'm not scared to take him in the front end of the second round if I have a need right there. Who gives a shit what Mel Kiper says? Kiper isn't going to lose his job if he makes the wrong draft choices. And you know what? I've always respected the Raiders. Do they reach on players? Sure. But they have a vision, and they ain't scared to just go take their guy. I can respect that. But listen, Wan'dale Robinson is just a firecracker. I call players like him stop-and-go wide receivers. They juke someone out of their cleats, come to a full stop. 3 steps later, they're back to full speed again. On top of all that, they can change direction at any time and just make up crazy ground. Pure balls to the wall, man. I've only played high school ball and never played against a player to his level. But I'll tell you what, when you're facing guys like that, you get thinking so hard when you're lined up going in for that tackle. You can barely touch them type of guys, man. And as you're going in for the tackle, it's a mental struggle with yourself. He will embarrass you in the open field. Pure and simple. Now there is some negatives or concerns you could call them. He's not the strongest player, so teams will try to come down and press on him in the NFL. You better connect on your punch off the line, though, if you're a cornerback. It's a good tactical choice, but there is a chance you just get blown up for that kind of stuff. He's got some work to do on his route running. He can get a little herky-jerky at times. He needs to be a little more fluid in his movement. Another downside is he's not going to give you much in that contested catch area. Now, that's okay to me, because there's going to be plenty of plays where he just pops wide open for you. I think he can clean up on curl routes as well. You got to stay on top of him. There's going to be plays where there's nice cushions underneath for him for quick, easy hitting passes. Wan'dale is just a weapon, and he's being criminally underrated at the moment. He is so twitchy and agile. He reminds me a bit of Kadarius Toney. He don't have the same juke moves like Toney, because that's out of the world, but he's awesome in his own way. I'd also like to see Wan'dale get reps at running back. If he lands with the 49ers, it's going to be over. He'll probably just take over the NFC West. So I think I've done my best to talk about his strengths and point out his few weaknesses and the effect he can have on an NFL roster if he hits how I think he will. Now, for where he could be drafted, all signs are pointing to the front of the third round. I take him in the second. I don't give a shit. I see tons of value. I think he's a smart kid, has all the tools to make a significant launch in the NFL. His floor is a really good gadget player with serious speed to win against man coverage, and he could be a weapon as a hot route guy on a team. Thank you all for watching. If you're new and still listening, you might as well subscribe. I got a bunch more of these types of videos. Let me know what you think of Wan'dale Robinson down in the comments. Sorry guys, I can't find a quiet spot in my room. I got 60-mile-an-hour winds whipping around outside, so if you hear the wind going in the background, I apologize for that. But I really wanted to get this video out here tonight. This weather is freaking insane. Last week we had a 70-degree day with lightning and thunder and lightning storms. Now it's 20 degrees out, a foot of snow, and 60-mile-an-hour winds. What the hell's going on outside? But everyone, stay safe, stay warm. Peace.